In the heart of the countryside, there was a dense forest known as the Shadow Forest. It was said that the forest was cursed and that those who entered would never return. The trees were so close together that the sunlight barely pierced through the leaves, casting the forest in a perpetual shadow. Many locals believed that the shadows themselves were alive and that the forest was haunted by an evil presence. One day, a group of friends decided to explore the Shadow Forest. They had heard the legends but thought they were just stories to scare children. They entered the forest, following a path that led deep into the trees. As they walked, the shadows seemed to grow darker and more menacing. Soon they found themselves lost in the forest, unable to find their way back to the entrance. As the night fell, they realized that something was watching them. They could hear whispers coming from the darkness, and every time they turned around, they saw a fleeting shadow darting behind the trees. They soon realized that they were not alone in the forest and that something was stalking them. The friends tried to find a way out, but the forest seemed to have shifted, and the path they had followed was now gone. The shadows seemed to grow longer and more menacing, and they could hear the sound of laughter echoing through the trees. It was a cruel and mocking laughter, and it filled them with terror. As they stumbled through the forest, the friends began to see things that made them question their sanity. They saw shadowy figures lurking behind the trees, and every time they looked away, the shadows seemed to grow closer. The friends knew that they had to get out of the forest before it was too late, but they could not find their way back. Hours passed and the friends began to feel like they were trapped in a nightmare. The forest seemed to be alive, and the shadows were closing in on them. They knew that they had to keep moving, but their energy was fading, and they were becoming weaker. Just when they thought they would never escape, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a small cabin, and a light shone from the windows. The friends ran towards the cabin hoping to find shelter, but as they got closer, they realized that the cabin was empty. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, and they were trapped inside. They could hear the sound of something moving inside the cabin, and they knew that they were not alone. The shadows seemed to converge on them, and they were enveloped in darkness. The friends knew that they had made a grave mistake by entering the Shadow Forest. The forest had consumed them, and they would never escape its clutches. They would forever be lost in the darkness, trapped in the Shadow Realm.